of my friends are going to see Nick Warren tomorrow night.
Maybe 5 top DJs in the world. I don't know how to rank them. I've seen Nick before. He kicks ass.
Everybody I talk to is very up for it.
I'm very excited for this night.
Iceland.
Where freaks come out.
Being famous has never bothered me at all. I'm not bothered about being on the cover of magazines. I love what I do because I love DJing and I love the music. I think I bought my first record when I was about 7 years old. Bob Dylan record I bought, and from then on I just bought records all the time. Instead of sweets, I would buy records.
I've only been in Iceland about half an hour, and here I am in the Blue Lagoon in the middle of a volcano. It was quite spooky. It's quite a spooky atmosphere. I like it. It is. Especially sitting in a place like this, and look at it. It's just weird.
It takes some getting used to, but with this sort of right attitude, it's probably the best place in the world to live. It can't be the worst as well.
It's just the middle of fucking nowhere, basically. Middle of the fucking North Atlantic Ocean, and it's cold in the winter time, especially.
It's like being on the moon. You know, it's just this mad landscape.
The warmth come from the heart, I think, from the people, from, you know, that's I think much more important than weather or that kind of thing.
Most of our cities in the countries, even though it might be Asia or South America or North America, sort of, most cities are pretty much the same, and I think sort of Reykjavik's going to be extremely different.
It's a boiling place.
Tremendous energy.
Nice weather, man. The reason for Iceland being so strange is probably the reason for Icelandic people never being really surprised when they go elsewhere.
And the people are supposed to be really up for it.
People in Iceland like to party very hard, I think.
We start drinking late in the night and we get hammered, you know.
It's like a 24-hour party.
The 101 area is like the main town. It's like the center of, there's nothing else really. Everything else is suburbia.
Reykjavik 101 area is like a trendy place to stay in, you know, a lot of like gathering of artists and music.
Musically, I suppose, there's so much sort of good stuff that comes out of it. There's Gus and Bjork, so there must be something in the water here that makes people be into like slightly a left field music.
My name is Stephensen, also known as President Bongo, and President Bongo has a band called Gus Gus. So everybody's in a band in Iceland. Even your alter ego.
It was a small bar, sort of a place to chill out stuff, and it was really good.
It's nice that Nick got sort of this crowd dancing to like music you wouldn't usually find Icelanders dancing to, like.
Maybe the safest place I've ever been to in my life. Even at night, at like sort of midnight, so when the streets are packed, people are very, very drunk. Like so last night we were out and there was people on top of their cars going down the road. And no hassle at all.
The Icelanders all believe in elves.
I do believe in the elves.
The elves, they are small, they live in little rocks.
The elves, they are all around.
Yeah, elves live in Iceland, or as we call them, huldufólk as well. It's more like the little people, the hidden people. And I think you can describe this best as a very positive force and a vibe, but it can turn really, really hostile if you don't kind of respect their territories.
We're going up to this a massive fault line in the earth up here, and apparently it's the line in Iceland between America and Europe. On that side it's like America, on that side it's like Europe. So yeah, this is the fault line basically. So we could all disappear at any moment. And this is the main place of the elves here. Right at the bar, I can't get the bar.
Real gentleman, like, you know, down to earth, which is strange considering how he runs his life, to be able to do all that and still be able to sort of be as down to earth as he is.
It is really, really cold. Really cold. August in Iceland. It's a great city. It's a shame it's so cold. I've got a daughter who's 5 years old, so I spend as much time with her as I can now, which is fantastic. She keeps my feet on the ground as well. So most of the time I spend with her a bit of fishing and a bit of lazing around. You know, I quite like sort of not doing very much. I remember trying to explain to my grandmother once what I did, and she just didn't understand that the fact I wasn't talking in between the records. I just turned up on my records, played music continually for 2 or 3 hours, and then left and went somewhere else and did it. Being a producer as well as a DJ makes a difference, because you're actually making a music. I think it'd be very harder for me to be a DJ and not make records. I went out to West me and Jody Wisternoff about sort of 7, 8 years ago. I wanted to start making records. I'd done a couple of remixes for Massive Attack and really liked studio work. And so we tried a couple of days in the studio, and it worked really well, and had like 3 chart hits with The Gift, Genre and Domination. I remember doing the first Universe raves and Tribal Gathering, actually sort of putting the first record on, and my hand would be sort of shaking like that, sort of putting the needle on.
Nick Warren, now you're doing your good thing.
He just rocked it.
Iceland's fantastic, I love the place. There's a fish. I just find it sort of a complete opposite of the rest of my life, really. And I think that's the reason I like it. After leaving school as a gamekeeper for about sort of 5, 6 years, which was great at the time, but I just found it, once I started sort of going off into the woods, sort of feeding the deer with the Walkman on and the Clash album in the ears, I just thought, well, it's not really me. I was always into music, really, and I think that that's where the DJing stems from. It's like sort of doing house parties and stuff like that in Bristol. So, because I was always that sort of really annoying a guy at a party who brought his own
tape along and shoved it in the tape player. I love hearing new music and still get excited about music. But also the chance to travel and see places like this, you know. So when else will I get to go fly fishing in Iceland, you know? It's not going to happen.
In the past sort of 15 years, this whole culture has grown up where we get flown sort of first class around the world, play to amazing crowds of people in amazing places, and so there's nothing wrong with the job at all, which is great.